So this is a video that I've kind of been dreading but also wanting to talk about for a really long time. Okay, so if you're new here and you haven't watched my previous videos or anything, I have depression and I don't know what stage it is. I don't know what kind of level of intensity it is. I did go to therapy once and we didn't get to go there because my therapist at the time wasn't really effective, or she didn't help me, so we kind of had to let her go. And then my parents thought that I shouldn't take up therapy anymore because maybe all therapists are like her and no one would be able to help me. I'm not an expert or anything. I do take up special ed, and depression and anxiety and all that behavioral mental problems falls under special ed, so I kind of understand, and I kind of have tips and recommended practices that you could take up, but I'm not a licensed doctor or physician or therapist or anything like that. So if these things work for you, then great. If they don't, sorry, but I think you have to go and see a professional. But just remember that not all professionals are helpful. You kind of have to find the right one for you that suits you as a person, that gets you, you know? So maybe the therapist that I had then didn't suit me, but then my parents kind of gave up on that and just generalized the whole thing. So now I can't see another therapist unless I really push it to them that I need it, which is kind of hard to do. So yeah, I'm kind of on my own on this whole thing. Anyway, self-harm, what is it? So it's basically harming yourself, you know, but it's more of like you deliberately, consciously, intentionally harm yourself. You know that you're doing this to yourself. That's why it's called self-harm. A lot of people have this stereotypical thinking or meaning to the term self-harm. And they initially think, oh, that's a person who cuts herself or himself. Cutting is a part of self-harm, but self-harm doesn't equal to cutting. It's like, it's a subtype of self-harm because there's a lot of types of self-harm. Like you could take up medication, like overly taking up medication. There's also like scratching yourself. There are also like mental forms. There's a lot of forms of it. So this is really hard for me to explain because it's such a complex thing and there's no cure for it. There's no solution. There's not like a tip I could give you that you could use and the turnout would be effective. There's none like that. But I have one thing that I do that's effective for me, and hopefully it may be effective for you because it has worked for me like probably 70% of the time. I'm a visual learner, so that means that seeing it is like the way I learn. So basically I love watching things. I think that's why I love YouTube. It's because you get to watch and you get to interact with this thing and you get to understand different perspectives, different people, and just learn through watching. I use it as a distraction whenever I feel like I want to harm myself in any way. So I watch a television series that comes out on that day, or YouTube. I subscribe to a lot of people on YouTube, probably like about 300 people. And you know, there's a specific day where a lot of people upload on that day. For example, Monday. So I save those videos because a lot of them, I just open all tabs to them and then watch each one. And I kind of like forget that I want to hurt myself because I'm watching something and I'm so invested in it that I'm not thinking of anything else. But this is only 70% effective for me because sometimes while I'm watching things, if they're saying something related or even slightly similarly kind of close to what I'm thinking in my head in a form of self-harm, my mind will go there. Like for example, today when I watched Tyler Oakley's new video, he mentioned the Trevor Project and he mentioned depression and self-harm and that kind of stuff. So initially, my brain goes to that dark place where that is stored and demons come out. And it was hard for me because I really, really wanted to hurt myself. Like, to you maybe, like most of you or whatever, it's not a big deal to hurt yourself in a mental way, but for me it is because I keep thinking these things. Like, I allow it to be in my head. I don't like the feeling of just leaving it in there and I have nothing to do to get it out. So what I did after watching Tyler Oakley's video, I started watching previously videos that I've already watched from different YouTubers that make me happy. And it's initially the stuff that I love most, about YouTube is that you get to see your favorites. You get to see the videos that you liked. And in the recommended ones, you see new YouTubers that you've never discovered before, but are related to the ones that you have already subscribed to. So I found out a new YouTuber and he helped me a lot to get distracted. His name is Mikey Murphy. He helped me so much today not to allow my brain or my depression to take over my mind and just fill it with negative thoughts. So the tip here is distraction. I kind of also multitask. Like when I'm watching a TV series, I'm playing a game on my phone while watching. And it helps me a lot because it's like your brain is looking at two things. And when it's looking at two things, it can't look at that dark part where it's saying, oh, I want you to die, like you deserve to die, like no one loves you. It eliminates that a little bit. Like it dims it down because you're playing a game, you're watching, and you want to understand what you're watching, and you also want to win the game. So less negative thoughts, more distraction. So the more you distract yourself from this thing, I mean, you can probably, eat and drink and watch and play a game, and that's like ultimate distraction. Another tip under distraction is, I guess, I also like to read books. Like, when I'm reading, it's different from watching movies and stuff like that. Because when I'm reading, it's my imagination that's opening this visual world for me. So I don't need that much distraction because I need more of my brain to open up an imaginatory world where I see what's happening in the story. But sometimes, again, a word or a phrase or whatever it is comes up in the book and I initially think bad thoughts. So what I do is that I take some earphones, put music in your phone, and just listen to it. Even if it does have lyrics and even if it's like contrasting to the book you're reading, I get my mind focused on both of it instead of the negative thoughts. Do you get my drift here? Just the main thing here is to distract yourself. It's what's been helping me not self-harm for, I guess, a month now. Of course, there's like tiny bits and moments that I have self-harmed, but it's like minimum. It's not like super grave like last year around December. I hope this tip would help you, but just remember this doesn't work for everybody. So it could help you, or it couldn't. So that's it for me. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope my new viewers, I didn't scare you off or anything. I do usually do other videos than this. But yeah. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next videos. Stay hot, smile always, and spread love. Bye.